Hey everyone, welcome to the recap of the Walking Dead universe. We are here live every week to discuss the latest episodes. You can catch our recaps at any time, available on most major podcast platforms. Get new and past episodes for free in the app of your choice, including YouTube. Today we are covering Season 1, Episode 4 of TWD, Daryl, Dixon. For those of you joining us live tonight, thanks for taking time out of your evening to be here. I am your host, Tamara, and I love a good TV show and a good book. So if you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me pretty much everywhere at the Recap Pods. And if you're into books, you can also find me at Shelf Addiction. Joining me is show co-host Lisa. Welcome, Lisa.
Hello, Tamara. Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Orban. I am an author. I am also the founder of Indies United Publishing House, and I love all things pop culture. So if you would like to connect with me online, you can pretty much find me everywhere at Lisa Orban Author or at Indies United Pub.
All right, so before we get started, we'd like to remind you that we want your participation in this conversation. So if you are listening live on YouTube or Facebook, hit us up in the comment section. If you are catching this on a replay, you can still comment on any platform or even call us by using the voicemail link in the show notes. If you are new to the podcast, we are laid back in our review style, right, Lisa?
Absolutely, Tamara. This is a conversation, not a dissertation.
Yes, no scene by scene breakdowns here. We jump around a lot. And of course, huge spoiler alert for everything, every show throughout the world through yesterday's episode. So if you're cool with that, this is the place for you. And let's jump in it.
All right. Where do you
Episode
want to
4.
jump in at?
Okay, so I have to admit, I thought, okay, so I had to get inspired by others' comments for this episode because I was so bored with it. I literally fell asleep 3 times.
Well, that's not
So,
good.
no, it's not. And I'm like, what is making me fall asleep? So I literally watched it again today after listening to some other people's comments. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. But I don't know. This episode did not hit for me. It felt like filler.
Yeah. It, I mean, a couple of things happened, and one of them is there's still we've got this kid that's on the move that apparently can just pray zombies away.
I guess.
The thing I was thinking is while watching that scene, going back to the whisperers, because he wasn't acting uh, human. I guess I could say.
Do you mean in the dream sequence?
No, no, when he was
No.
there underneath the in
Eiffel
the
Tower?
when he was under the
Oh, here?
in the catacombs. Yeah,
Okay. Mhm.
he wasn't he wasn't screaming, he wasn't acting irrationally, he was just kind of standing there. So we do know that walkers, at least from the other side of the ocean, other side of the pond, if you don't behave in a humanish way, they do kind of tend to ignore things that are just standing there.
Hmm.
So because that's how a lot of times the whisperers dealt with the walkers and how they got them to move along.
Well, let's not forget in the other shows they were covered in like a mask and or blood or other things that deterred them and made them blend better. It
Yeah, but
wasn't
not
just
always. Um,
well,
remember,
yeah.
not Judith, but what's her name? The one that lost her arm. Uh, she just kind of fell in and out with the walkers. She did that quite a bit. As a matter of fact, even over in um, Fear the Walking Dead, the heroin addict would do it as well.
Okay, so with Alicia though, I have
No,
to
no,
say
no, no,
maybe
not Alicia. No, from The Walking Dead.
who lost their arm, tell me.
Alpha's daughter.
Uh but you know what? okay, I'll give that to you, but she's an expert on the matter, right?
True. I'm just saying.
So,
All I'm saying is we do know from Walker behavior that if a lot of times, as long as you're not calling attention to yourself, they kind of ignore you.
well, I've come to feel like there are no solid rules in this world.
There is that as well.
I feel like depends on the episode, depends on who it is, depends,
It's on the
depends,
walkers.
depends.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like I said, we've had characters that have fallen in and out with the walkers.
Uh-huh.
Even Michonne. I mean, she had the two walkers there with her as camouflage, but
Mhm.
she'd fall in and out with the walkers all the time.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's not unheard of. I just thought it was kind of like, okay, once again, they're trying to establish he's special, you know?
Yeah, and I wonder if it's going to be one of those things where literally, like you said, they just ignore him, but I think not, because the other scene when he was at the Eiffel Tower, and of course this annoyed me as well. So we see all those walkers or whatever they call them on the other side of the man-made wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course he gets there, looks at one, and oh, here they come.
Right.
They were all behind the wall with no problem. It's not like he was making a lot of noise. He wasn't, so he was doing nothing to me that would make them push through that wall.
Right.
So
Well,
I'm
the,
like,
the
this
only
makes
thing they
no
had was
sense.
the only thing they had was that eye connection at one point. When he looked through the little crack and the zombie on the other side went popped in. Hello.
Yes.
But that's it. I mean, he didn't scream or anything.
No.
So
But I'm like, was that enough to make all of them move? I don't know. It just, I'm like, okay, I guess.
yeah,
Again, whatever fits
the
the
narrative.
script, yeah, whatever they want to happen, happens.
Yeah,
So,
and so and of course, uh, I'll tell you what. For a minute there, I thought Daryl got bit
when?
when he was underwater.
Oh, yeah, that would have never happened though. Yeah, I
I'm
could
just
see
saying,
it. Yeah.
but I mean, because it did actually bite him, but it got his boot.
Mhm.
But for just a second there, I thought, oh crap, they can't have him bit. It would just be dumb. But
Yeah.
for just 1 second there, as he's fighting off the walkers, I thought, uh oh.
See, I think he is safe from a bite until they are really done with him, and they're not going to be done with him for a very, very long time. Or
Exactly.
unless they come up with a cure, then they'll let him get bitten by someone or
Mm.
something rather.
I mean,
But
it's
he's safe.
possible he could possibly get bit as long as it's an extremity, because we know that um, amputation can work.
Yeah, they're not doing that to him. Who he
Yeah,
wants? He doesn't want to do that every episode. No, he's gonna be like, no,
yeah.
no, thanks.
Thank you, but I'll pass.
Hard pass. It's in my contract.
That's right.
No limbs cut off.
Yeah.
Um,
No missing limbs, no horses.
yeah. I mean, I really doubt they do something like that to this character because it really would handicap him in a way.
Oh,
You
I
know.
know. But like I said, for just 1 second, because if it was on his ankle, foot area, again,
Hmm.
amputation would work, in theory. But yeah, I'm like, they wouldn't. No, they
No,
wouldn't.
they wouldn't. They need. He's the hero. He
I know.
comes and saves everyone. He comes and kills people and do. He's he's doing the hard work. And he
Yeah.
needs all both of his feet and both of his hands to do it.
Mm-hmm. And
So
and I did find the interaction between him and the nun. I don't need a hero. I don't need a hero. And then in this
yes.
episode, she's like, well, maybe I kind of need a hero.
And when they see each other, she gives him a hug. I'm like, Lord,
Yeah.
okay. They're besties now. They're best friends.
Well, I don't know if that would be besties or at least, thank God you're alive.
It's a little, I think it's that, but I think they genuinely are starting to like each other.
Well,
Um,
I mean,
or care about each other, if nothing else.
yeah, I mean, and not surprising. I mean, you tend to, how do you make friends? You basically walk up to a random stranger and say, hi, I'm in your life now.
I know. But I also know very well, and I know this is real. You can definitely work with someone and travel with someone and survive with someone and you not like them.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But that's not what's going on here.
I think there is some genuine affection. Well, maybe not
Mhm.
affection, but at least you know camaraderie
Mhm.
between the two of them.
Yeah.
And I did kind of like how the show, when the two nuns were talking. Do you
Oh
ever think
yeah.
about men? No.
I know the one did. She kissed that guy in the mouth.
Yeah.
I'm like, woo.
Well, and you and I agree with the statement. It was, you were so young. You never really had, you don't remember a world before. You've never lived out in this world.
Yeah, she
You know,
never knew what else was out there. So
exactly.
she never really had a choice, really.
Exactly. She was left at the monastery, and that's
Mhm.
where she's been since she was like 5 or 6.
Mhm.
And so her becoming a nun was probably just, well, she's here. You know.
She's like, that's what everyone else is doing. It seems like the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe, sure, I'll become a nun, you know.
But now that she's been exposed to the bigger world and boys,
Yeah,
it's
she's
like,
like,
well,
oh, he's kind of cute. She
yeah.
like, maybe I'll hang around here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame her. I'm like, give her a moment. She might not want to be a nun anymore. Maybe she might. Maybe she
Right.
might decide that's not what I want. Yes, I do want to be a nun. So,
But I think part of that scene was there to really hit home that no, she doesn't have those kinds of feelings towards um, uh, Daryl.
yeah.
And she doesn't actually have those feelings towards anyone right now. She really is. She didn't become a nun because she felt she had to. She became a nun because she felt called to it.
See, I still feel like anything is possible, but I definitely feel like now is the time with Quinn being this side in her, the pin in her side or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the thorn in her side. She will, whatever she could have developed between her and Daryl is definitely dead for now because she's thinking
Mm-hmm.
about this fool. She got to deal with this guy.
Yeah.
So whatever that was, whatever spark could have been, is now been doused with water
Yeah. And I'm okay
because
with
of
that.
Quinn. Yeah. But I'm just saying I'm not gonna count it out yet. Anything could happen, especially knowing that this is gonna be another season, another unless they kill her. I don't think we're done.
Well, technically, she has fulfilled her duty.
Eh,
She, I mean,
not
she's
yet.
gotten Lauren out and she's placed him in Daryl's care, and she has gone back as a sacrificial lamb so that they can get out of the area.
Yeah. I don't she's not done yet. She's gotta get them through and she's gotta enlist Quinn's help to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got some manipulating to do, but in the little preview, I'm like, okay, she's got some kind of box knife
Mm-hmm.
or something. So who is she about to take out? Who is she
Yeah.
about to try to kill?
Well, she even says, "God forgive me."
Yeah.
So I mean, in that it could even be suicide because, you know,
Oh
that's.
no, she's not doing that.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying
think.
it's a
Yeah,
cardinal sin.
it is, but I think so. Murder is too. I don't think she's gonna kill herself. I think she really will try everything in her body to get back to her nephew. I don't think she would go unless she didn't have a choice. Like
Yeah.
they're about to kill me. I better do something first.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Um,
and Quinn's sort of side piece, you can tell she's not particularly impressed with this entire situation.
that is his like club girlfriend.
As I said, side piece.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's not the side. She's the main until old girl came back. She was the main.
Yeah.
And that's why she's looking all leery. She want Laurent gone. Bye.
Yeah. I
She's
don't
like,
want you to be a happy family. Screw you.
no, don't come in here and rain on my parade right now. So,
Well, and she even knows that Quint's using doesn't really care about Laurent. He just wants him to get the sister or the
hmm
aunt.
yes, which is very disturbing.
He's a
I'm
very
like, why
disturbing
are you so
individual.
obsessed with her?
I don't know. I would kind of like to know a little bit more about their relationship
Yeah,
because he's obviously doesn't say nice things about her.
no.
Because when they captured one of his henchmen, I mean, he said terrible things about her. I know what kind of person you are.
Oh my god. He called so okay. This man called her like all kind of HEO, you know, hoes. He called her hoe basically, like you
Yeah.
hoe bag. And he was gonna spit on her. I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, is he gonna spit on this woman? And he changed his mind at the last moment. He was going to. I'm like, that is awful.
Yeah.
So he has been talking trash about her all around. Anyone who will listen, he's talking trash about her.
Well, and the way that this guy's acting, he's been talking trash about her forever.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is just from him seeing her this time around.
Yeah.
I think this, he has people are aware of who she is because he has some weird obsession with her.
And that's why Quinn's going to die.
Yeah.
Because I think she's going to kill him. Because even in the scene where he's like sitting there and as you say, the child side piece is staring at him, she's looking like, she's looking at him like, you make me sick. I feel like that
Mm-hmm.
is what she's looking at him like.
Yeah.
And he is just, when Isabel comes back, that stupid grin he had on his face for a minute, it was
Mm-hmm.
like really brief, but I'm like, ew, gross.
Yeah.
The only way I'm gonna be satisfied with this is if she kills him, and I'd be completely okay with it. And you do your Hail Marys and you're forgiven.
I don't know. I think there are two women in that room that both want him dead right now.
They might gang up to do it. They might. I wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't hate it. I mean, I wouldn't mind, the club girlfriend getting the club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can create an alliance. He's dead.
Yep.
Let's work together.
I
And you
mean,
just got to worry about what's her face.
I mean, well, the thing of it is she's already established that she can wheel and deal because
Mm-hmm.
she wheels and deals to get them different things all the time. And when
Yes.
she came up and said, "Oh, we've got truffles," and she mentioned something else as well, acquisitions that they could get, and she was
Mm-hmm.
really upset that Quint only asked for that. What was it, a Monet?
Yeah.
And she's like, "You could have gotten so much more." And then she realizes, "Oh,
Oh,
it's gotcha." So that way, you know, he can say, "Well, you didn't pay top dollar." You know, I get to keep the kid. And honestly, as long as he gets what's her name, the aunt, I don't think he cares about Laurent. I mean, I could even see him turning him over if he didn't think that he would be enough of a hold to keep her there.
absolutely. Absolutely. I can see him doing that. He
Because
doesn't care about that kid at all.
no, and Laurent can, and I think he, because looking at him can tell.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation they had there, sitting there while eating the candy,
The stale candy he's
the
supposed to be
stale
grateful
candy.
for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, stale candy's better than no candy. You know.
I'll take no candy.
Yeah.
You might have laced it with something.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, you could even see, he's looking at Quint just going, "No, you're no."
Mm-mm. He
Whatever
would
game you're
trade that
playing.
kid. He would give away Laurent to them
Mm-hmm.
to keep Isabel. Here, take him. Just leave her.
Exactly. As long as he's a useful pawn, he'll keep him around. But I think that's kind of how he feels about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they are useful right now,
Yeah.
then he's got a place for them. But the minute that they lose their value for whatever reason, they're probably gone.
I've got to know. They've got to tell me why he is so infatuated with her.
Yeah, and that's why I
They've
was
got
saying
to
I
tell
kind
me.
of I do kind of wish they would give us a little more backstory.
Mm-hmm.
We know that he saved her from suicide. We know that he's taken, quote unquote, taken care of her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we really don't know the why of it.
Yeah, even after all these years.
Yeah, I mean, this is obsession level because it's been 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
something. I mean, that is a long. I mean, it's not like he didn't move on. Club girlfriend.
Right.
But the minute she walked in, he's like, "Yeah, that's it. All the rest of you can go. She's
Yeah.
it."
He's like, Anna who? Anna who?
Mm-hmm.
What? I don't need you anymore. Step aside. My girlfriend has arrived.
Well, and even the fact that she's a nun now, in
Yeah.
no way deterred him.
No, he doesn't care. He like,
No.
oh, whatever.
And he asked, I mean, he did ask her, are you serious about your vows? And she's like, I'm absolutely serious about my vows. Oh, okay, never mind, don't care. Come on over, man. Kind of,
He's the worst.
he really is.
That's why I say it again. He's gonna die. He's
Oh, I'm
gonna.
sure he is. I mean, because he's not a
Oh
big bad.
no.
He's not anything like that. He's a minor obstruction,
Mm-hmm.
but he has enough pull that he's worthwhile keeping alive right now, so that Daryl and Laurent can get out.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Janae saying that Laurent is like false hope? He represents false hope.
I'm kind of there with her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in some ways, they're treating him as the second coming, and in some ways, as this, you know, a, um, John John Connor kind of personality,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of almost how they had, for anyone that watches Terminator, that whole cult that grows up around John Connor.
Yeah.
It's that. It's not necessarily that he's superhuman, but his birth was foretold, because of time travel. Not that they're going to do that here, but
Right.
but it's that same kind of feel to it. Um, and they don't expect him to perform miracles. Really, they just expect him to let his light shine to light up the darkness. Essentially, I
I
think is what
still want
they're
to know
going for.
why they think that of him. Why?
I don't know. It's almost like there's a I mean, I'm wondering if there's some prophecy somewhere. I mean, there's always some prophecy somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Oh, did you know that we missed apparently another apocalypse about 2 weeks ago? I had no idea.
We did.
Apparently, we survived it. Yeah, there's some cult somewhere that said that the world was supposed to end 2 weeks ago.
Oh well,
So
that was an
missed
easy
another
one.
one.
Yeah, easy.
You know, one of these days I'm just gonna go outside and put like shoes and make it look like I was raptured up or something.
God, you are so funny. I swear.
I'm just saying, convince all my neighbors to do the
Actually,
same.
that would
No
make
one,
an excellent Halloween thing for your street. Just everyone just got clothes outside, shoes sitting around.
yeah,
It's dark.
just all these crumpled,
Yeah.
shoes and outfits as if you were raptured up.
It's a mess.
But like I said, there's always someone somewhere that has a prophecy of some kind. They are in abundance.
Right. Yeah,
So
because
I
I
don't
don't know.
I don't know if there is some kind of prophecy or if it's just they've decided, because every one of these groups, I mean, they believe in him.
I know. And I don't know why. Like, do they think he's just going to be a leader and that is it? Do they think that, oh, this kid's so well spoken? I mean, what is it? Is it because he was born of a woman who turned? Is that it? Because
Yeah,
if it's
I don't.
if it's that, I was watching these two dudes on YouTube and they made an excellent point. Like there are probably lots of women who were in the throes of birth, at least a
Mm-hmm.
couple, and
Oh
they
yeah,
died and someone yanked the baby out or whatever. It probably has happened a
yeah.
lot of times. So it can't
I
be
mean, and it's
that.
probably happened, even since after
Yes,
the the apocalypse, because it's not like we don't have pregnant women.
right. So it's not that. It can't be that. And they're
Right.
not trying to say he's immune. No one has said that. They've tried to like imply it subtly, but no one said, "Oh, he got bit" or blah blah blah. No one knows. That's not a
Right.
fact. So they're just saying
So,
he's going to lead us because of his great personality.
well, he's got the personality of like a 13-year-old.
He's like a
Um,
normal tween.
he, yeah. I mean, again, he's very, very smart. But then again, you put almost any child in a situation where they have round the sorry, round the clock tutors, and and every being the sole pupil, of course they're going to be smart because they're just babies learn, children learn, and with that kind of setup, almost any child can thrive.
And let's not forget, it's not like they had a class of students to compare him against.
Yeah,
They only had him.
right. And I mean, obviously, this was some kind of a teaching school because the one girl was there and her parents didn't come pick her up. But that being said, again, you if you have every nun, every priest, and a full library, and your whole life is about learning and education and everything else, yeah, one-on-one tutorship, and you get a really good education.
That is so stupid. What are they telling all of these people to make them agree? Like,
I don't know.
I've got to know, what is the juice? What are you saying to them
Well,
to
and
make
even
them?
after they meet him, once they meet him, they're in absolute agreement. Absolutely, this child, he's it.
Well, they're
So
like,
they're
this is
seeing
who we've
something.
heard so much about. It's him. It's not even like they've asked him to prove it, or, they've asked for
Mm-hmm.
proof. They're just taking it off of faith that this is the
Yeah,
kid we've heard about. Yay, we're protecting him. This is him. Like, that's it. They're just accepting it. Case closed.
and I mean, and staunchly defending. You don't understand. He's our hope. You know.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, with that baby crying.
Did you think she was going to do something to that baby?
Oh, I was absolutely sure before the end of that scene she was gonna snap that baby's
I know. I'm
neck.
like, what is she going to do? Like, don't let her hold that baby. She-
Oh, and you can see the look on the mother's face. She was absolutely terrified.
yeah.
So it didn't happen, but I was convinced there for that whole scene. Oh, she is gonna snap that baby's neck,
She seemed like the
and we
type
don't
of
know that she
person.
didn't.
We don't, but she seemed like the kind of person who would do something like that.
Oh yeah, as soon as when she had it up on her, was starting to place it on her shoulder, was had her hand around his neck, like this is it,
Oh my
and
God.
then they cut
I'm
away.
glad they
So
didn't.
but we never go back to them
Yeah.
after that. We have no idea, and we don't go back to that group either. I mean, because the ones that are out on the street are not the ones that were inside the building,
No, they're not. Yeah.
so we have no idea.
Mm.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
it really was.
Another kind of crazy part to me was the whole pigeon guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my gosh. So he's trying to help him by putting the
Mm-hmm.
bike to the side and pulling him behind to hide. And he comes out trying to, please give me my pigeons,
Yeah.
all of,
Don't eat the
don't eat
birds.
the
Don't eat the
birds. I'm like,
birds.
okay, dude, you want to die for four pigeons or five pigeons? Like, that just seems completely asinine. I guess. Again,
Yeah.
another, do I really believe someone would do that? No.
Uh, you know, I've seen people die for their pets. I mean, we've all seen stories of man jumps in into raging river after dog kind of thing, and
Uh,
or dives into hole to save whatever, and dies in the attempt. So I mean, they're birds, but I mean, from the first time we've met him, he obviously loves these
he has
things.
a lot. He had a lot of them. They were going back and forth at will. How did he even know they were
Mm-hmm.
the same birds?
Because they're home, or because they always come home.
Well, I guess now he died for them.
Yep.
Hope it was worth it.
Probably not.
Um, which was crazy. So of course Daryl comes out and he, takes the other guys out, which is fine. But why didn't he take their weapons? Strange
I don't know.
to me. I'm like, why wouldn't he
Yeah, I
take
know.
their weapons?
The only thing he had his boa thing.
And that's how you're gonna kill the old man?
It was kind of implied, but he does have his knife still.
Well, yeah, they tried to make us think that that's how he was gonna smash his head. I'm like, come
Yep.
on, where's the knife? Go easy on him. You did all this for him. Don't smack that thing into his head.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, I couldn't. That whole scene. Ah!
There's there is a lot of implying going on.
Yes, there is.
Like again, the baby. Yeah, baby might be alive, might be dead.
Mhm.
You know, how did Daryl kill this man? Is Lawrence special or not?
Mhm.
They leave a lot in ambiguity.
Yes. And I don't love it. I don't love it. I'm still so Karina said earlier that she hears that season 5 is the next one to look out. I mean, not season 5,
Episode.
episode 5. We're not that far ahead. Episode 5 is the next one to kind of keep your eyes peeled for that's supposed to be good. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that's real because this one, I had so many problems with it even after I went back and rewatched some of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this was
It,
not the business for me. It just wasn't.
I've kind of noticed this pattern of they're like using one episode to set up another episode. So we have one that's just set up, the next one is action. Set up, action, set up, action.
Yeah, I don't mind. See, that's the thing though, Lisa. I don't mind setup because it's required to the story. But
Mm-hmm.
I think just something about this just was so. I feel like there's a way to pace the plot and prepare for big things while still not seeming stagnant. Because I feel like a whole lot of nothing happened. Like things happened, but nothing happened. Does that make sense? Like things happened,
Yeah,
but none of it mattered to me. Not
yeah.
really.
I mean, again, there was a little more setup on, so now we know that um, Janine, is that her name?
Janae.
Janae,
Yeah.
um, it has now put a price on Lauren's head as well as Daryl. And we know that what's her name is sacrificing herself for Lauren to go back to the man that's absolutely obsessed with her. We know that bar girlfriend or club girlfriend is not happy,
No.
and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. The one scene that I did find pretty interesting was when Daryl was telling this story about this pig screaming and
Mm-hmm.
this guy stabbing the pig. And I'm like, oh my God, this really has villainous vibes. Like he's really like trying to put on this show.
Oh yeah,
Like he is putting his full effort into this. And I'm like, okay, how far is he gonna go? How far is he gonna pound this guy if he doesn't give up the information? I really do wonder how far he would go. But the guy gave up the information only after a couple of stabs.
a
Just
couple,
a
a
couple of
few.
stabs. And then at the end, Isabel's like, "Oh, are you that boy? Did that happen to you?" He's like, "I made that shit up."
Yeah.
Like, no, I just made it up. I'm like, Lord.
Well, he's American. He gets, you know.
Well, while he's saying this story, I'm like, this guy's English is supposedly really bad, if he even speaks English at all, because he really barely spoke any. I'm like, who is the story for? He can barely understand you.
I think the moral of the story here. I don't think it was actually as much the whole story. I think this guy knows enough English to be dangerous. Um, but more, I think it was Daryl's delivery of it. He wasn't excited. He wasn't excitable. I mean, he was sharing a story and dealing out violence without without it being personal. And I think that was I think it was more about his tone and uh, cadence for
Yeah.
this guy.
I don't think have we ever seen him like perform like that? Like as
Yeah,
what give me another example of when Daryl acted like that. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think, have I
it would have
seen him
been.
do that before?
He's done it when kids have been involved. Um, Let me think. Which bad guy was it? I think it was the governor. It wasn't the governor himself, but it was one of his people. I also know he did something similar with um Negan's guys too.
Yeah, because that was highly performative, and I'm like, we don't see that very often, obviously, because I can't even pinpoint when he's done that to where it stood out to me like this one did.
Hmm. I think part of it was is a lot of it. A lot of times it's part of it's off camera.
Hmm.
There's the I went and did the thing, you know.
Hmm.
But him and Carol have both are both known for doing what needs to be done. Look at the flowers. Um,
Cheryl's so low key though. Like even when she's performing, quote unquote, it's not loud and flagrant, right? It's quiet.
right. Well, and even this, I mean, it was this wasn't a loud performance. He was just telling a story very calmly. You know, he wasn't yelling, he wasn't screaming, he wasn't even making a threat to this guy. Honestly, the whole time he was. He never.
That was
He
a threat to me. He's talking about this pig getting stabbed, and then he comes and stabs him.
yeah,
That's a pretty big threat to me.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, he didn't direct any of this. You know, other than the stabbing. But there wasn't. I'm going to hurt you, or you're the pig, or you see where I'm going at. You know, none of that. He was just telling a story and being threatening.
Hmm.
It's very. I mean, it's effective.
Yeah, I
It
think
was effective.
especially after he actually stabbed him, that was effective.
Mm-hmm. And then he left him in the tunnel. Bon appetit.
Like, OMG, WTF. I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's what we're doing.
Yep.
I get
I
it.
mean, it's not that. Thing of it is it's not that Daryl has always been warm and fuzzy. He's never.
No,
I mean, he has his moments with certain particular people. He can be softer, but Daryl is not known for his soft and fuzzy ways.
he's very gruff. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
of him like, I don't would not associate him with warm and fuzzy at all. He's very
Oh no.
gruff. He's very quiet. He doesn't like. It seems like he only talks when he has to.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You know, he's not a spotlight kind of person.
no, and just that moment felt kind of like just very different from Daryl to me.
I think it's because in that moment he really was in the spotlight where
Mhm.
he is normally not.
Mhm.
He took charge of the situation because he really, I mean, he let the nun take care of it for a long time. You know, let her speak with them, try and get as much information,
He like all
and then
this
he,
talking. Let's get to it.
well, and she was just like, he's not going to talk.
Yeah,
This is, you know, this is all I know. And Daryl's like, hold my
I
beer.
have another hand to play. Let's do this. Yeah, I get it. I just yeah, I'm curious to see if we'll see more of
and
that type of behavior.
and
This
it was interesting because she never once tried to stop him.
No, of course not, because she wants to know where her nephew is.
Yeah, but I mean, and she didn't even really look particularly shocked.
No.
No, she just kind of went, okay, this is what we're doing now.
See,
You
that's
know?
the thing about her character is she had a hard not life, as they say, right? She
Mm-hmm.
had that. So just because she's been a nun for the last decade or whatever doesn't mean that,
She hasn't seen her share of
right, and
violence.
that she forgot it.
Right. And that she was willing to deal it out herself as well,
Yeah.
even after becoming a nun.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Right. But, I mean, she did give Daryl a little more praising look. Interesting.
Mm,
So was that little boy you? Ah, hell
no.
no. Yeah.
I know. I
You know
think
that
she was
she
trying to
isn't.
put some draw some connective dots with him, and he's like, "No, it wasn't even me. It's made up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
Made
go
the whole thing
trying to
up.
shrink me, lady, because
Yeah.
it's not gonna work."
It was an effective storyline. What can I say?
Yeah. Like, how do you just come up with that stuff off the top of your head? I'm telling you, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not to say that there may be something from his childhood, maybe some story or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But and it did sound. like something that would happen in his childhood.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. So, and it's possible that again, not exactly that scenario, but enough to draw a decent story from.
Mhm. Yeah. And I do like those other characters too. We should, just talk about them for a minute. Those forgot that guy's name, the black guy who kind of is the head of that one little
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
section. I like those people. Like they stepped up and they're like, "Let's help. Let's get in there." He gave his little pep talk. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I like them. I hope we see a little bit more of them."
Yeah. We go in as one. We come back as
Yes,
one.
I'm like, "Okay, I like it."
Yeah. Well, it is a stark contrast to a lot of the other communities that we've encountered over the years
Mhm.
in this universe.
Mhm.
There's there's no dark underbelly to them, at least as far as we've been shown so far. I mean, they're actually just really decent people trying to look out for each other and carve out this existence within this decaying world.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this nice novelty.
Mhm.
Honestly, a lot of the, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, even the group of orphans, at the daycare center,
Mhm.
were, you know, were kind of like that too. We're all in this together. It's all of us against all of them.
Yeah.
So, and then we have the bad guys that are, it's all for me and screw all you.
See, I think that is what I like about this season is that, as they're traveling and they're coming across these groups of people that also believe that Laurent is the savior, that these
Mm-hmm.
are above board groups. It's not like you have to worry about like them flipping the switch as soon as they get in there and they're prisoners
Mm-hmm.
now or something. It's very
Right.
clear who's the good side and who's the bad side.
Well, even the kids. I mean, they were an unscheduled stop,
Mhm.
but I mean, it was good to see that some of these little pocket groups are running into. Not everyone, everyone outside of their little clique there is bad.
Right.
So even groups outside of Lawrence support system, they're not necessarily bad. I mean, there are bad people there,
Mhm.
but not. And I kind of like the fact that we have some, you know, variances of bad. So Lawrence's father, he's a bad guy, but he's not bad. He's just creepy. He's creepy bad. You know,
He's
he's
like the
creepy bad.
neighborhood drug dealer bad.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily
Like he's done bad things. He's killed people. He's
right.
bribed people and threatened people. But he's not
But
going to
he's
take
not
out a whole race of people.
exactly. He's not going to mow down a whole
Right.
community. Now he'll give up a whole community if it'll save his butt, but he's not going to mow them down.
Mhm.
So it's kind of nice to see these that there's the different levels. The guy with the zombie orchestra, he was just crazy. There was nothing to fear. He was just nuts. You know,
Mhm.
and I mean, and we do have bad guys. We do, but again, there's the different levels to them, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. That it does have some things working for it this season, right? There's a lot of good things that going on this season, and I guess this was just a blip for me. That last scene when they got on the boat and they're leaving,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was so eerie to like see the Eiffel Tower like that
Mm-hmm.
and like it making those noises. Oh my god, that is
The lament.
so creepy. Um,
Yes, Paris's lament is
yes,
what they called it.
so creepy. And then they saw the Statue of Liberty replica. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yep, that was the one that they modeled ours off of.
So very
And
interesting.
and the different, all the little different touches of ancient civilization that it's been there. France and Europe, it has been there for a long time.
Hmm.
And America's a newborn babe
Still,
compared to the rest of this,
yeah, still, yeah,
and always will be.
yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting for him because, and I've heard people say this that even with all the decay as you know as they're showing Paris, Paris is still fairly spectacular.
Mhm.
It has its awe-inspiring moments, and I would have to agree because even though it's a dying city, um, it's still pretty cool.
Paris is beautiful. It is. You could tell it's old, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's no hiding it. It's old, but it's
Yeah.
still gorgeous, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone that goes now, Paris looks amazing now versus 5 years ago because they are cleaning that mug up for the Olympics. They have the
Yeah.
Olympics next year and they're
I know. Apparently they have a huge bed bug problem right now, and they're trying to drastically fight them off
oh
before
my
the
gosh, I
Olympics.
don't know. I didn't they're trying to well, they're
I
cleaning up everything. The bed bugs, they moved the homeless out. They are really trying to change what that city looks like in time for the Olympics. They cleaned out the sign river. Like
hmm.
they have it doesn't even smell. That river smelled so freaking bad. But it doesn't smell now because they cleaned it up.
Hey, I guess there's some good things. I personally, when it comes to the Olympics, I think we should just pick a location that has good summer, good winter,
Mm,
locale,
mm.
and we just permanently build a city there. And then, in the off seasons, Olympians can come in and train, and people like you and me can go in and do stupid stuff. And hey, I went down the slopes or
Oh my
whatever.
god. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of wouldn't mind. I don't want to go in one of their racing kebabs, but give me a nice rubber uh, uh, inflatable and send me down one of those chutes. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
after you sign a
Yeah,
waiver for your life.
yeah.
Sure.
Well,
And
put me in one of those rolly plastic, the bubble balls. There we
oh,
go.
that's fun.
Send me down the chute in that. That would be awesome.
That's a lot safer, I think. Yeah, it's fine.
That would be a good time right there.
I don't know, but
Just saying.
whatever it is they're getting that place. It's nice and it's getting sparkly that old place. So anyway,
So yeah, I mean, I overall. I mean, it, I did fall asleep.
you did
Although
too.
no, I said I did
Oh,
fall
I was
asleep.
say what?
I was. I mean, I wasn't. I was distracted, but it wasn't because of the show. It's because I have newborn puppies and they're horrible. Um, they're all over the place. But so I had to keep stopping, and that maybe that was because I didn't
Yeah.
just sit and watch it all the way through. I had to stop like every 15 minutes, pause it, and go collect up the puppies again. Please get out from there. You're gonna get stepped on, and then put back away. So I kind of watched it in these chunks.
That
But
now that you say that, that is another part that thing about this show that I think is making it a little bit harder to watch than all the other shows is because they have this French scattered throughout the episode. You can't look away. Like you can't
yeah,
even reach for your phone or run out the room right quick because you need to be able to run, look and see and read the words.
yeah.
So it's
Well, and,
like,
and here's the thing, because by default we keep on the closed captioning
mm-hmm.
for various reasons, and I have discovered that I have to turn off the closed captioning when I watch this because it'll say speaking in French over with the French translation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what did it say? God. So and I forget because like I said, otherwise on default it's just the closed captioning's on.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like this is a little frustrating. What did I say?
I mean, honestly, I am a good person for multitasking while I'm watching TV, but I cannot
Mm-hmm.
do it with this show at all. It's so I can't even try because might need to read at any given moment. So,
Right. If you look away,
hmm
because and I've had that happen like you a couple of times where I've looked away to pick something up or my phone notified me of something or I heard a puppy cry,
yeah,
you know,
you have to hit
and then I
rewind.
and I have to hit rewind because I realized I they said something in French and I don't know what it was,
Hmm
and it could be nothing or it could be important.
Right. and you
and
might
there's
miss
no way to
something.
know.
You will
Right.
so it's like, I don't know. This is not a show I could ever watch live. I could never do it.
Right. If I could pause or and rewind as needed.
Mhm.
I've thought about that a lot here lately because, as a kid, it was you watched it, and if you missed it, you missed it. There was no pause, there was no rewind. You during commercials, you ran for the bathroom or the snacks or whatever,
Mhm.
and you're doing that Olympic sprint at the end. Come on, come on, come on, it's starting.
Yeah.
And I don't miss those days. And I mean, life is so distracting right now that if we didn't have the ability to pause live TV, we'd miss most of it.
I know. And sometimes, honestly, and this is bad, I know, I really would like to just turn off my brain and watch something. But between all the different things I have going on, I'll literally just start thinking of something that I have to do or something, making a list. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, oh, stop. I missed like the last minute and a half of what they were saying.
That's why I can't do audiobooks. Because if I have an audiobook on, about 10 minutes into the audiobook, I'm like, man, I need eggs.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I need to take the trash out. I
Mhm.
mean, and then I've got this whole list going, and then I realize it's been going on for a half hour, and I have no idea what's going on in the book anymore.
Yeah,
And then in an audiobook, it's even worse trying to go back and find your
it
place.
is. But though, this doesn't happen too often with me with TV because I'm watching, but that tells me that I am not engaged at all when it's easy for me to do that. Like, it's not usually that easy.
Yeah.
But it was for this show. I was waking up, rewinding, mind drifting, rewinding. It was a whole mess trying to watch this episode.
And like I said, I mean, I didn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't watch it straight all the way through either. So, and I did have to rewind several times because I knew I missed something.
Mhm. I don't like
But
that. That's
I
my
don't
little
either.
and I didn't do that with Fear even when it was at its worst. I wasn't really falling asleep on it. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope episode 5 is a lot more entertaining for me.
Well, because up until this episode, haven't had any serious complaints. I think it's it's better than Fear has been for seasons.
And I'm still enjoying
And
this more than Dead City.
yeah, I am too.
So, there's that. So, anyway, so I guess no perfect 6 streak for me. No 6 episode streak for me. But
No,
it's okay.
it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Mhm.
I mean, if every episode up until now had been awful, that'd be one thing.
Mhm.
But a one-off, okay,
Yeah.
acceptable.
It happens. So let's see. Is there anything else we should cover in this episode, you think?
No, I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered it all.
Yeah, I think so too.
Bon appetit.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we're going to end things there. If you are still listening, thanks for listening to the entire episode. We appreciate you for doing that. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening, like the episode, and please share it with other TWD fans. Until next time, take care of yourselves. See you guys next week.
Bye bye.